Good morning, everybody. You know who this is. This is AJ Copeland. And excuse me here. Let me move this pen a little bit farther over before I get started in the topic today. And I'm sure you guys read the title down there. Please take your meds. Please take your meds. Listen. I know that a lot of people don't agree with medicines. Some people don't agree with taking antidepressants. Some people don't agree with taking their HIV meds. Some people don't agree with taking their diabetes meds, or whatever the case might be. But I'm a firm believer that God, the Creator, whoever your God is, whatever your God is, gave man the ability, okay, to come up through science, okay, the medicines that people need to live and survive. All right. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is because whether you know it or not, when you're not taking your meds, you're affecting everybody around you. Okay. If you have some emotional issues or some mental issues or some temperament issues and you're not taking your medicines, you're affecting everybody around you. If you have some issues where, you may be HIV and AIDS positive, and you're not taking your meds, you're affecting everybody else around you. If you have diabetes or whatever, or if you have an STD and you didn't take the prescribed medicines to you in order that might be cured, you're affecting your next sex partner if you decide to have sex anymore. And most people do that. They have sex with people when they're knowing that they have STDs, and some people have sex with folks and they don't know they have STDs, and that's why it's important to be tested to see if you need any type or any forms of medicines. Now, I know there's a lot of folks out here that think they got the plan. Some folks even think they're doctors, all right? Never spent a day in class in their life on anything that has to do with medical science, but they think that they're doctors. And they think they can come up with the perfect cure to heal their bodies of whatever disease or virus that they might have, or whatever mental or emotional issue that they might have. Well, I got news for you. Doctors are here for a reason. Doctors are here for a purpose, all right? Scientists are here for a reason. People that come up with different cures for viruses and diseases and different things that plague this land are here for a reason. And I think that every person that has the ability to do these things have gotten that ability through God. All right. Now, you may not want to agree with that or believe that, but I believe that. Because if that was the case, some folks wouldn't be living right today. If it had not been for medicine, some folks that are living with, that have gone through the situations of cancer would not be here today. Some folks that are HIV and AIDS would not be here today had it not been for medicines. Some folks that have diabetes would not be here today if it had not been for medicines. Some folks would go mentally crazy if it had not been for medicines. So please, by all means, take your meds. And you may ask the question, why am I telling folks to take their medicines? Because I see the results. I see what happens when people don't take their medicines. I see, if you've ever been involved with someone that suffered with various mental issues like bipolar and attention deficits and different things like that, and trauma or anything like that happened in their lives. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that medicines is the answer to everything. In some cases, you may not even need medicines. And for some folks, they can get through situations without taking any form of medicines. Addictions are a situation where you may not need medicines to get through a certain addiction. You just need to make a decision that you don't want to be addicted to anything anymore because you're seeing how it's ruining your life. There's certain things that we choose not to do that does not make our life better. Get over the shame. Get over feeling ashamed of having to take this or take that. It is what it is. Because if you want to live your life to the fullest and be healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically, it's very important that you make the right decision and that you do the right thing. And taking your medicines might just be one of those right things. Because I see how parents, husbands and wives, partners and loved ones have to deal with their loved ones as it relates to various situations that they go through in their lives. Friends have to deal with certain friends that go through certain things in their lives, mentally and emotionally, because of trauma, because of things that they went through as a child. We all are human. We're just human on this earth trying to make it from day to day. And each of us make mistakes all the time. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. It's just like the situation of individuals that had contracted the virus, whether it be chlamydia, syphilis, herpes, HIV and AIDS, whatever STD you may have contracted. It's a shame. It's not a good feeling for that type of thing to happen to you. But understand this, know this, that every human being is subject to those type of things. If they don't be wise, why engaging with sexual partners? Anybody is subject to the very things that you may have been subject to and got. So don't feel ashamed about those type of things. And if you have to walk up in a clinic to get medicines, to get a cure for your STD, don't be ashamed to do that. Please, by all means, go and take your medicines so you won't be passing it on to somebody else. That's the biggest problem in this world today, and especially in this country, when it comes to individuals passing one thing to the next person, is because they're dealing with all these emotional issues that I'm so ashamed, or I'm afraid somebody might see me, or I'm afraid that somebody might know me if I step foot in a clinic, or if I do this, or if I do that. Why are you worried about what somebody else is thinking? If you're really concerned about your life and the other person's life that you involved yourself with, to the point that it can possibly lead to sickness or death, you're going to make the right decision regardless of what everybody else says. Don't wait till you get on your deathbed or have a nervous breakdown to decide all of a sudden, I shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Because shoulda, coulda, wouldas are too late. There's nothing you can do about a shoulda, coulda, woulda. But you can do something about it right now. And I'm not talking from what I hear. I'm talking about what I've experienced and what I know personally, for first run. I know. And listen, when I talk about all these various topics, if you look on my subtitles, talking about life topics with AJ Copeland, I deal with every situation, everything that's unimaginable that you and I can encounter in our lives, because I realize that some of us don't always have all the answers, and I don't have all the answers, but I love giving you an opportunity to think about your life for a moment, because that's why I said it's food for thought. It's something for you to think about. I put it out there and I want you to think about what I'm saying, because it makes a difference. Trust me. It makes a difference in your life, and it makes a difference in everybody else's life. And when you're only being selfish and focusing on yourself and not on anybody else, in other words, if you're focusing on your shame and how you don't want to do this or you don't want to do that, and in return you're hurting other people because of that decision, it's not always wise to do that. Now, there's a selfishness that we may call a good type of selfishness, but then there's a selfishness that we call not so good at all. It's okay to focus on yourself sometimes, depending upon the circumstance, depending upon the situation. But in some circumstances, you need to consider everybody else around you. That means your friends, your families, your co-workers. You need to consider the people around you when you make certain decisions as relating to your health. Your health is very important. And as I said earlier in this video, I truly believe that God has given man the ability to come up with the medicines for you and I to live through all the things that we have to go through, even through the situations of maybe getting pneumonia or the flu, that some of us go to the emergency room to get help for, or break a bone or something like that, and we need to get that mended. We have to go to the emergency room to make sure that we get things that we need. So come on, y'all, let's get over all this other stuff. And don't get me wrong. I know that some folks believe in natural medicines. I know that some folks believe in taking supplements, and they trust supplements more than they do traditional medicines. But let me tell you something. It depends on what you're dealing with. All right. Supplements work for situations where it's not serious and it's not life threatening. But when it comes to something that's serious and life-threatening, you might want to consider traditional medicines. And I don't mean become an addict and get addicted to these things, just like pain medications, which a lot of folks get addicted to pain medications because there's some hidden issues going on and they don't want to deal with those hidden issues. That's why people get addicted to pain medications. I mean, hypothetically thinking and speaking to you, if you're addicted to pain medication, think about it for a moment. You started out taking these medicines primarily for the pain that you were having in your body. Pain medication is not meant to heal the mental psyche and the emotional situations that you may be going through. And so, in other words, because it makes you feel good and it relaxes you and it gets you to a place where you don't really have to think about the real problem that's going on, you take them and you take them and you take them, and next thing you know, you've been addicted and you think it's okay. Well, being addicted to certain medications, being addicted to any medication, let me correct that, is not good at all. And so don't take medicines as something that, oh, I'm not going to take that because I'm going to get addicted. Well, that's your decision. That's your choice. You don't have to get addicted to any type of medications if you deal with the emotional issues first. If you deal with the mental issues first. If you deal with the things that you've been dealing with most of your life that you haven't shared with anybody, you haven't gone to a counselor or a therapist or a psychologist, and you're trying to deal with these things all on your own, and then all of a sudden you're going to start taking pain medications, you're damn right. 9 times out of 10, these type of people will get addicted to pain medications. So when I say, please take your meds, think about it. It's just food for thought, giving you something to think about. Whatever you're going through in your life, if you're somebody that's supposed to be on medications to save your life or better your mental psyche, then do it. Don't worry about what nobody else is saying, all right? Because it's your life and nobody else's. I'm AJ Copeland, and this was Topics to Go. And during your free time, always remember, catch a topic or two. Later.